Hey guys, welcome back for another video. So today I'm working on a project that I've been putting off for a long time. So we live out here basically out in the sticks. And the only thing that we've ever had, I've lived here for, I think 16 years, 15, 16 years. And the best that we've had for internet is DSL basically through a phone line. So we finally have a vendor who is bringing fiber optic into our neighborhood. And we've been talking about this for probably over a year, and they're actually to the point now where they're starting to get the infrastructure brought in through the countryside, and they've got their first pedestal back here at the edge of our development. So I think they're getting close. So that's what brings me to this project that I'm working on. So currently, the way I'm set up over here is my office, and that's where I've got internet coming in with modem and everything. So the logical thing would be when they're bringing this fiber optic in, they would come in and we try to get into the office. But obviously, you know, I've got sidewalk, I've got a porch. There's really no easy way, and I've got stone. There's no easy way to get into that office because the basement's finished now. Everything that's running in there now, I did before I finished the basement. So I'm going to continue with bringing the utilities in from this side of the house. This is how they come in now. Again, before I finished the ceiling in the basement, it was easy to run things, but not so much now. So we're going to come in this side of the house, and that brings me to the problem that I'm going to show you once we go inside. Okay, so here's my mechanical room. This is where we're going to be coming in. And this little room is the only spot in my basement that I didn't finish. So we're gonna get the cable brought in here, but now I have to figure out how to get it from in here up to that office. So here's my game plan. Got a mess, I've been pulling all this stuff out, plus I just got back from a trip. So ignore my mess. But what I've done, it might be a little bit hard for me to explain this to you. So we got the mechanical room over here on the west side of the house. Here in the middle, I've got the staircase. This is a two-story house. And then this is also the stairs that goes up to the main level. What I've done is, as you can see, I cut a hole in the drywall down here, trying to find a place where it's, you know, when I patch it back together, if I don't do a perfect job, nobody's going to care because it's under the stairs. But I've cut a hole here. I'll try to show you how well this will work, but basically what I'm going to try to do is get a hole up through that bottom plate up there. The cable is going to go from inside the mechanical room over there. Look at all this paint, all these years. The cable is going to go from inside that mechanical room. There's another room that's right here. This is a separate. My den is over on this side, so I can't poke through this wall. But down here at the bottom of the stairs, the den, I think the line of the den stops about there. So down here somewhere, I'm gonna punch a hole through the drywall here into the mechanical room, and then they'll have access. And I'll just string conduit across here, bring it up. We'll go up inside this wall that I just showed you. Then I'll go upstairs and show you where the target is. Okay, so from upstairs, mechanical room's down there. We're gonna come in. Here's the stair. The staircase is obviously under the staircase. That hole that I drilled in the drywall, or that I cut in the drywall, is right down directly below this. So I'm going to cut a hole. I don't know if you'll be able to see that on camera, but if you saw the bottom plate that I just tried showing when I stuck the camera through the wall, that bottom plate is right there. So I'm going to drill a hole up, and I need power. Not only do I have to run fiber, but I have to run power up here too to bring power to the modem because there's no power in this closet. So I need to get power, and I'll probably put a box down here. And then I also need to obviously get a chase for the fiber optic. What I'm thinking is I'm just going to set the modem up on this shelf, and it can live here, and it'll be centrally located in the house. So that'd be a good spot for it. So a couple holes to poke here. some flexible conduit to run, and with any luck, I'll get this thing put together so when the guys get the fiber actually run to the house, they can get it installed. All right, so here goes nothing. You have to be careful, there's a wire right here. I think that is I think it's just a doorbell wire. But I'd rather not cut it if I can help it. All right, so I'm going to try to get this thing centered in the middle of the cavity as best I can. Shoot. It doesn't fit. I gotta take my belt clip off of here so it's a little bit narrower so I can fit inside that cavity. I don't know if I mentioned it, but this is an 1.5 inch hole saw. It should give me plenty enough space. Ooh, this is a tight fit. I can barely get the drill in my hand past that phone wire. Shoot. Ooh, okay, I think I'm past it. Alright. Here goes nothing. I think I just popped through the 2x4. I'm probably into the subfloor now. I might be through. All right, I got my plug out. Now I just have to figure out how to get this thing back in that same hole again. Might be easier said than done. Hindsight, this would have been easier if I would have used a Forstner bit, because then I could have just drilled straight on through. But I don't have one, so here you go. I think I'm in there. Oh. Okay, so here's what I did. I drilled right beside it, and I basically just made my whole oblong bigger. I didn't really accomplish anything. I got another plug out. Okay guys, so fast forward, it is a week past when I shot those last clips. And as you can see, I've now cut another access hole underneath the stairs here. So, long story short, well, long story long, I completely forgot that this floor system for this basement, I'll show you in here real quick. I completely forgot that I've got, what is this? Is it 14 inches? Yeah, I've got a 14-inch truss system that that actually makes up the floor. So where I was drilling before, trying to get to that plate, all I was doing was getting to this height, not accounting for the additional 14 inches. So I was pretty frustrated and about ready to basically throw in the towel, but there's no quit in my heart. So I came back this weekend and I decided to cut another hole. It's just drywall. I can patch it pretty easy. And I think this time, so obviously I'm about, I'm probably 18 inches higher, so I can reach further with my extension. And I'll stick the camera and the light up here. I don't know if you'll be able to really see this, but hopefully you can. I've got a hole up there now through the plate, basically the plate of the basement, this wall here, and then also up through, well actually it's a double plate there, and I pop through and I can now actually see the OSB flooring underneath. So now what I'm going to do, we'll go upstairs. So we're back to the closet. So what I'm going to do, originally I was going to put the box over on this side, but now I'm going to shift over here, and I'm just going to cut in an old work junction box here basically. And I'm thinking that this might actually be nothing more than just an access for me to get everything run up here. I think eventually I would actually like to put a double box up here. One side I can have power, the other side I can have the fiber optic coming out. So I'm going to cut this out. I have to be really careful because if I just drill straight up from downstairs, if that drill bit, you know, if I'm not perfectly vertical with that drill bit, there's a risk that I could pop out through my floor, and I obviously don't want to do that. Or if it came out the other way, I'd come out through the basically, you know, I could come through the drywall on the other side, on the stairway side. So I got to be really careful. I might see if I can actually drill down as opposed to drilling up from the basement. But first we need to get this hole cut out here, and then we'll see what we can work with. Nice and tight, just the way you want these boxes. Okay, now, what I don't know, I'd like to be able to drill from up here, but I'm not going to be able to get the angle right. I can see that. There's no way I'm going to be able to drill down, because if I do, I'm going to be drilling. I'm going to end up drilling outside of the plate. So I think I'm just going to have to go ahead and drill up and hopefully I can get that bit nice and straight up and down. So, alright, a little bit of a different idea. I decided to, I'm going to use this pilot bit. I can get this at a much steeper angle, just to make sure I'm coming out the right place. Oh, I think I did it. Finally. I made it. Okay, so I had to get a little aggressive here. Basically, there is trying to go through this hole. I was at too much of an angle going down into that cavity, and I was hitting framing that they use on the back side of the stair stringers over here. So even though it's a 3.5-inch wall, I had to be this half of the wall. I only had like 1.75 inches or something to be able to poke this hole through. And so this angle that I was going through, I was getting into the framing of the staircase. So as you can see, I popped off the base trim, and that way I was able to get closer to the edge, and I am through. And I think I have enough room to be able to get my Smurf tube down through there now. So, what a battle that was. Okay, I think that the hard part is done. Now, I need to get another hole cut up here because that's where I want the router to actually sit, and I don't want all the wires coming up. So I'm going to cut another hole up there, and Then I'll run it up from the basement up through there. That will become, I don't know, maybe I'll put the power there. I could put an outlet there, or I might just put a dummy plug and put a double receptacle up here, and then that way the power can come out right next to the fiber optic. I'm not sure yet, but anyway, the hard part I think is done. Okay, so I got my hole cut for my double junction box here. My game plan to actually run this through the Romex, obviously I don't care, I'll just pull it down through the wall, but for the fiber I want to make sure it's protected. So I'm going to use Smurf tube, otherwise known as ENT. I think this is what this stuff is called, but I hear everybody call it Smurf tube. But anyway, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these connectors, and this just pushes on the end here. I'm going to drill a hole in the bottom of the junction box, hey buddy, and pop this through the bottom of the box here. That'll go in the wall like that. My Smurf tube will hook up to the end of it, and then I'll have a continuous connection all the way down through the wall. So I just need to pop a hole through this box. There it is. There, that baby's firmly attached. Hopefully I get it in the wall. It's gonna be tight, but it'll go in there. Okay, now I need to work on getting this thing pulled through there. It's gonna be a little bit tricky since I have to go down through that truss floor system, but let me get a pull tape and I'll start pulling that conduit through. Okay, so I got the fish tape run up from that hole, that access hole in the stairwell up through there. It took me a little bit of poking and jabbing and trying to get it up through that little hole there, but I got it. I'm going to run the conduit and the Romex together. Because I don't want to do it twice. What's going on here? All right, maybe hard to show on camera, but now I'm just going to tape this off to the fish tape. It's kind of a big wad of stuff to have to run through this wall. So it'd be much, much easier if I had two people, but I'm by myself, so I'm gonna make it work. Okay, so jumped ahead a little bit here. I got the bottom outlet in. I decided at first I was just going to use that. I was just going to put a cover plate on it, but I thought, what the heck, I might as well go ahead and put power to it, plug a vacuum into it or whatever. So I'm ready now to get this top box connected. And before I need to pull the rest of this conduit down, I want to go ahead and clip it on to the box so I don't accidentally pull too much through. Sorry, I got violent. But anyway, I got that on there, so now I can pull it through safely. Get my power wire pulled through, and we'll be finished up other than cleanup. That's better. All right, I got this cleaned up. Can't even tell I was here. So I'll just show you my finished product over here, running through the wall, tacked underneath the stairs, and then popping into the mechanical room. So I'll show you what I ended up with here in the mechanical room. So this, of course, is on the back side of the stairway. I popped off this piece of drywall here, and as you can see, I just ran the Smurf tube up through, popped in the box, and I tapped in. Here's my power wire came in, and I just tapped into that outlet box there. So that officially, other than just doing some cleanup, I'm officially ready to have them pull that fiber through. All right, guys, that's a wrap for this video. Hopefully a few of you found that interesting. If you did, do me a big favor, hit that like button, and we'll see you in the next one.